chat. Champ chat. It's Monday night, the show is here. We'll make opinions crystal clear. Champ chat. Champ chat. Let's see who makes that watch this week. Another transfer rumor start our week. Oh, Champ chat. Champ chat. We like to talk the Reds and the Blues while we bring you all of the biggest news. Champ chat. Champ chat. Oh, Champ chat. Champ chat.
I love that tune. I can't not sing it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all back to the circus this weekend. We had a good weekend.
Yes, we did.
Birmingham didn't. And where's our background? We've done nothing this weekend. Look,
Oh,
we've just been
jeez.
talking far too
my
much.
God, yeah, we've been blowing smoke each other's hind end. Hold on, I
Okay.
blame Ken. He was in here bothering us. That's why.
Yeah, he started the conversation,
Yeah,
and then
he
we just
come in
kept
and-
talking Birmingham. That's one. There's a back. Oh no, not
There
that.
you go. How about that? There you go.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
Thank
That'll
you.
do. Right. Well, that was a good weekend of results. Everyone who is at the top kind of won.
Pretty much. Yeah, actually, everybody. From Southampton up, right?
Yeah,
I guess you could even go lower than that. Even
you can go as far down as Watford in ninth.
Yeah. So ninth place up, everybody won.
Now, of course, there was a little bit of movement, but not much. Everyone pretty much stayed where they were. So
Yeah.
maybe someone jumped at the bottom, but
Yeah.
Birmingham lost, and they're now in 12th.
Yes.
And you know what? The rules on this, Champ Chat and all our local pundit channels are, if you skip a show, you get picked on. So I decided to do a couple of stats because earlier on in the Discord, John was saying that even if we lose, there's a lot of time left. And I was thinking, no, there isn't. And I was thinking, what would John have said if I said that about Wrexham in his position? I think he would have called me out for being unrealistic. So I decided to run the numbers just in case they lost. Now, had they not lost, I agree they would have had maybe a bit of time. You know, this would have been a big win for them. But I think it's getting too far. And you know what? I wasn't the only one because Aaron decided to run some numbers as well because we're getting to the end of the season. And you know what? The numbers look good. And the numbers actually look better than I had even thought in my head. So that's going to be the first major topic of the weekend. We'll have a look at the matches. We'll have a look at the table and then run through some numbers. And then I have a lot of random crap waiting to see what time we have left afterwards, because I have been trolling the socials and randomly pulling out anything that just amused me. So we have plenty there, all football related at least, but not necessarily ours. Kind of championship adjacent, I would say, for some of them. But there's some things to talk about. So, how do you want to do this? We do table first, or
sure? Why don't you pull that up, and then we'll say hi to everybody in the chat. We got Bono in the chat, Habs is in the chat as usual. Maxiverse, hey guys, what's up, buddy? Yes, I am back to full time, if you can call it full time. I'm back to my full time, part time. Finn says the Bloom and Brummies letting calm down. Yeah, I think they let us all down. Scum Army's in here. 8 points too far. Yeah, I agree. It is too far. Although 4 points is a little too close for comfort. So you guys could go ahead and drop a few points if you don't mind. Scum Army is he's a Southampton fan. We had him on the show earlier in the season. So yeah.
And so one caveat there with the numbers that we've been running, obviously, is we're not saying nobody can catch us.
No.
There are closer teams that can go on a run, and especially if we do hit some bad form, teams can jump us. But the problem for Birmingham, as we will now see in the table, is just there's way too much traffic.
Traffic.
If we drop out, someone else is going in, and it won't be Birmingham. Is my opinion on this one now. I would say from Bristol City down, you're kind of in trouble now at this point.
I tend to agree. I think it's tough. It's doable. They can do it, but it's definitely you're going to need a lot of teams to drop. I just don't see us or Southampton both going on a bad enough run that the teams below us catch us. I mean, maybe there's an outside shot for Derby or Watford, but I don't think either one of them are capable of going on the kind of run they need to go on. You know what I mean? I don't trust either one of those teams. Watford, maybe. They've got some good players, but they've just been hit and miss all season, Derby, same thing. It's just been so hit and miss. They can go on a good 5-game stretch, but then they go on a really bad 5-game stretch after that, it seems like. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, but of course, there's only 11 matches left for most teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Bar a couple of stragglers that will have games here and there. We're going to have one soon because we're not playing a league match this weekend. We got the FA Cup versus the big boys Chelsea.
Yes.
So we're going to end up with a game in hand. We're going to see how things shake out around us. But at the moment, we have the 4 points.
Yeah.
So we have at least one match where people can take points, but we still won't lose 6th. So then after that, we'll have to see how things shake out before we start making more points ourselves back in the league.
Yeah. It's going to be, it'll be really interesting. Well, the nice thing about getting that win against Charlton on the weekend, it gives us that space. So even if the teams around us that are chasing wins, just say Southampton win, they're still a point behind us. So it still looks okay we'll still keep our 6th place on the table, even though we'll have the game in hand. No matter what, we'll still be. It makes you feel better when you're still in that spot. I think, you know what I mean? More of a mental thing than anything. Just makes you feel better. So important game, though, next Tuesday with Hull City. That will be a big one. And they've got a tough game. They got a tough game tomorrow, too. There's a game tomorrow, Ipswich and Hull. That's a big game playoff run also.
That's a big one. I don't know if we want to just skip over Charlton quite a bit because I guess we've won. It's not that interesting. But before we do, did you catch that the Wrexham social admins decided to throw out a little comment at Charlton? Using the circus analogy, which I just thought was hilariously funny.
Yeah, that was good. I figured they would. They, he's done that to himself though, Nathan Jones. So I think he's gonna get tired of hearing about the circus every time he plays us. But I think it's just gonna be a thing from now on.
Yeah. And one thing I will say, just on the match before we maybe move on from it, is AO's wonder save right at the end of the match.
Great save.
Where he got down, got a touch on it, and knocked that ball away. That's why we have AO. Yeah. That's where AO is worth his money.
Yeah, and that's what me and we were having a conversation last Thursday. Me and Josh, and who else was in there? I can't remember. It seemed like I think Habs was hopped in with us, and we were all chatting and talking about AO, and he's dropped. His form's dropped a little bit. He's not. If you look at his numbers, so when he first came in, that first probably 15 games or so, he was one of the top stat earning goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah.
Since then, it's dropped, and I'm not sure that it's just because he's facing more shots right now, because at the time we were playing a little more defensive. We weren't scoring as many goals.
Yeah.
Now we're scoring more goals, but we are a little more open. So I don't know if his stats have dropped. So it's like his save percentage and goals per game, goals allowed per game, stuff like that. He's dropped. He's more of a mid-table keeper than a lot of those stats now, which is a little disappointing. So we were having that conversation, and none of us said we wanted him out because exactly what you just said. His ability to make saves like that kind of negates all the other negatives that he may have, because let's be honest, he saved us 2 points there. That save saved us 2 points, and I think he'll continue to do that through the season. So yeah, he's going to be very important in the run.
It would be quite a bit of work, but I think it might be interesting to go back over the goals that went in on AO and try and run a little bit of a tally of what type of goals were they. Were they purely his fault? Were they coming through traffic? Were they ricochets? Were they open play? Because I get the feeling that there's quite a significant amount where it's a complete break of run of play, where he does not have defenders there to assist and help him. Not to the level you would want. In which case, you would normally say that these are the positions that keepers are just going to not be able to do anything about it. These one-on-ones.
Yeah, probably. It would be interesting to go through it. It would take some time. I might have a look at
How many goals again?
I don't know. I'd have to look back through.
It's here in front of us. I can't read it because my eyesight's getting bad.
Oh, total. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh no, change my screen. It's 45 goals.
Yeah,
for the season.
Not all of those were him, because
they weren't all him. But
yeah,
it's not a ridiculous number, but it's interesting. It's something I'd like to do if I had time.
Yeah. Even if you cut it in half and did, half of them or something, and
we could do it
just to kind of get a look at it, especially here lately, maybe the recent form. But Kelly Davidson in the chat.
Kelly Davidson likes AO.
Kelly, $10 super chat for AO and that amazing save. Love that. Love that, man. And the guys on Champ Chat ain't bad either. No, we're not too bad. Not too bad. It's a much better Champ Chat today since that blue guy's not here. I think he's run off. I think he's heading towards the beach.
He's going to need to find himself that Hawaiian shirt very soon.
Yeah, exactly.
I know he doesn't believe at the moment. At the moment the belief is it's coming into the Sheffield United fans. I think they're starting to believe they're going nowhere, and they're only 1 point behind Birmingham right now.
Yeah.
So it'll take a bit of time to get into John, but soon enough. I think soon enough. We'll see.
Hopefully, by the time we play them, they are well into
exactly.
So I think that's the fifth from last game or something like that. So they might
they'll be done by then.
Yeah, they should
surely
be on the beach by then.
They've either gone on a fantastic run, or they're done. That's it.
Yeah. I did get a little nervous. So let me ask you this. I'm just curious what everybody else was thinking. What were you hoping for a result today? Were you looking up or were you looking down?
I was looking down mainly, but a draw would have been nice.
I actually was kind of thinking, because we were because if Middlesbrough would have lost, they're only 6 ahead of us. Now it's not easy, but 6 points could be, it's a stretch, but you could make that up. You know what I mean? You might be able to. Problem is, again, I think we'd have the same problem as what Birmingham be looking at: traffic. Yeah. You got to pass Ipswich, you got to pass Millwall and Hull, so the traffic becomes an issue. And I think Ipswich sitting there with 2 games in hand on everybody. I mean, let's be honest, they just don't lose many games. So they're, good chance they get at least 4 points from those 2. So they're sitting in a little bit of a false position at the moment. They'll be right up there close.
The only reason I was looking up at Middlesbrough in this match at all, in my mind, is I'm now of the opinion I would like Coventry to make some distance on Middlesbrough. Yeah. I want them to have won the league for the last 2 matches.
Yeah.
So that when we hit Middlesbrough, they are not challenging for the league title.
Yeah.
Comfortable that they're already in second.
Hopefully they're either comfortable in second or we're right there with them.
Exactly. It's one of 2. It's either potentially we can do them damage and let Ipswich slip in or something, or us or whoever, or they're completely on the beach and
Yeah.
have no issues whatsoever.
I think it's going to be tough for everybody to catch Middlesbrough. I think I know we've been saying it all season. It does seem like just because of the games in hand, it seems like Ipswich is probably the most likely team to do it. But they've, to be fair, they've not been like lights out this season. So,
No,
they're a
no.
beatable team, but they are good though. You think about where they're at with, and played 2 games less than basically everybody. They're in a pretty good spot. So
I'm hoping we make 4th. I'm hoping we can get to 4th. I think
I
that's
think
doable.
I think it's certainly doable. I think there's a good
Doable
chance.
without us falling through the floor. We can,
Yeah, I think there's a
yeah,
good chance that us and Southampton could get up, and we could move up, and then Southampton could even move
could
into the
move in as
playoffs.
well.
Yeah,
And you'd
wouldn't
have to knock
surprise me at
Hull
all.
out. I think Hull are the most likely to drop out here, actually.
Yeah, and it's funny because everybody, it's kind of this big argument you see online, or especially on Twitter, and then some of the podcasts that you listen to. They Hull are overperforming their XG and their stat. Like they should not. Like
I
you
don't
look
give a
at
shit
there.
about the
It seems
XG.
like every game they win. Well, like the other day they won. What they score like 4 or 5 goals on like 0.32 XG. Like they just had no good like no good
Mm,
shots at all, and somehow they were just deflecting in and
yeah.
just outrageous shots going in. And
Okay.
yeah, it's just
Off the
weird.
top of your head, just because you said it there, do you remember any match where we underperformed their XG?
Underperformed our
Yeah.
XG. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's been a few, but usually you
What
lose those.
one goal wins or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few. There's been some. Well, no,
Okay.
there was some like I can remember a few, like especially like maybe not this season off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's been some. But I don't
Okay.
usually look at XG. But
No,
it's just that the
stupid
Ipswich
figure.
or that Hull are have been kind of been that team, and it's just like how do they keep winning? Like they
Mm,
just they win in the weirdest ways. Which
yeah.
it's hard to call it a fluke because at this point, you're 35 games in the season,
Yeah.
and they're still doing it. So
So here's your segue. The reason I think Hull are going to drop out is because they have a ridiculously hard kind of finish, I think. They have so many teams around them that they still have to play.
yeah,
And they're going to lose. They're certainly going to lose some, and they might lose a lot. And that's I guess, our segue to our match, which is
yeah,
next week.
yeah.
But who do Hull have the weekend? Remind me.
They've
Is
got
it Millwall?
Ipswich tomorrow, and
Ipswich tomorrow.
then I think hold on, I can tell you. Um, then they've got Millwall. So they've got Ipswich, Millwall,
Millwall, then
us,
us
3 in a
in it.
row.
3 in a row, all losable matches,
Yeah,
all of them.
all within a 7-day stretch there. So that's pretty wild. That's we'll learn a lot about them. You know what I mean? We'll learn a lot about them. Oh, another super chat. Maxiverse, I bet we take 4th or 5th. We can definitely get up there if we take care of
Yeah,
business. Absolutely, we can. Thank you for the super chat. Thanks for getting in. Appreciate that a lot. Well, 2
that's a
super
big one,
chats
Maxi.
already
Cheers
today.
for
That's
that.
good stuff. Yeah, 20,
Yeah,
20, 20 bucks. That's awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It helps go to the channel and keep things running. All the cool stuff we do. So appreciate it, guys. Um, but yeah, that's a tough run for Hull. So yeah,
yeah.
we'll see.
That's absolutely a tough one.
And I guess here's the other thing too. Where are those games at? Which, ironically, I think they're better on the road than they are at home.
Yeah.
Because they are that weird team. So they are away to Ipswich, home with for Millwall Saturday, and then they're away to us on Tuesday.
Mm,
So yeah, we'll see. It's gonna be tough. And then after that, they've got a couple easy ones. Actually, 3 easy ones. They've
yeah.
got after the 3 games after that run are West Brom, Sheffield Wednesday, and Oxford. so so
So they
yeah,
better
they
lose to
may
some now.
struggle. Yeah, they're gonna be back and forth, and yeah, they're gonna be an interesting team to watch. See how they finish out the season. Um, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right.
Okay.
What else you got? I know you had some numbers you wanted to get into. You want to dig into those?
Yeah, why not? Why not just stick the knife straight into Birmingham? I
Yeah,
like
let's get
that.
after
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's some numbers I just quickly threw together. Let me take down the champ chat banner for 2 seconds. There, boom. Okay, so this all came from the Discord when John said that if they lose tonight, they've got a bit of runway. It's not over yet. Plenty to play for. And I was thinking, no, not really. So I checked it. So this stat here on the left is our first 11 games of the season. And we averaged 1.18. And then drop one match and add the next match the entire way down as we keep going. And if you look, obviously, after the first couple, 4 or 5, it starts to even out. And for almost the entire season, we have been comfortably over a 1.5 solid points per game there. Only a couple of little dips. We had the 1.55, 1.36, and then we start coming back up. And what I hadn't realized is just how well we've been doing lately. I know we did well from Christmas, but if you go back the last 11 matches and then rotate it back, we've been on a 2.09 for the last 3 matches and 11 previous. And before that, it was a 1.82.
Yeah.
They are much more solid numbers than I actually thought.
It's even better if you go all the way back to Boxing Day. If you go 13 games, which and the reason why I go to that is because that's kind of when we made that tactical change.
Yeah.
That's when we made our big change to change how we play. You go back to that game, we've been the best. Since then, we've been the best team in the division. Nobody's gained more points than us in that time.
Yeah.
We are sitting on 20. We got 29 points from those 13 games, which is a 2.23 points per game average. And that's since we made the tactical change to what we're doing now.
So in this scale here, that would be the first of the 2.09s on this last section. That would go back just to Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And then as you keep going back, it'll be the matches before Boxing Day as we go.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Now, the second column here at the top is 57, so our points at the moment. And then I just estimated what would the end of season be if we were on the same points per game as in the first box. So worst case scenario, if we went right back to as bad as we were at the start of the season, we should end up on 70 points.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's not great. Average should be 74 to get into the playoffs. But some seasons, 70 has done it. Just teams have just gotten in there. So it kind of shows you how far down in our averages we can kind of go and still have an outside shot at least. And as you look at the mid ranges, the 1.55, which we've had almost all season except that first little crap run, we'll be hitting 74, and 74 is the average for sixth place over the last 10 seasons.
Yep, absolutely. I think, and that would be we would cruise. I think we'd cruise to that. I think if we finish below that, we've had a serious
dip,
drop in form. I mean, we've been so good lately. It would take a hell of a bad run to get into that kind of form. And like you said, I mean, you still have a chance, but just because of where we're at, I think. And and here's the thing: every win we get, those numbers just get better. It just the math gets better, because there's one less game and one less game for everybody to catch you. So it really, really every win we get kind of just makes a big jump. Because I was doing the math. I had the math. We'd kind of talked about it on Thursday, and I had done some of the math, and just between the difference the one win makes, that extra 3 points, it made our math so much easier, So hopefully we can keep this winning run going in the league at least.
But the one thing this does show is how difficult it would be to kind of sneak into the autos. That's basically
really
done for
hard.
us.
Really
You know, at a 2.09, we hit 80, which we're thinking isn't enough to take it. It's nowhere near. So, yeah.
Yeah, we would have to go on an incredible run. It would have to be like
Near
We'd have
flawless.
to be like basically, we'd have to probably win 10 of the 11 or 9, and a couple draws maybe might get you there. I don't even know what that does points. So if you get, say if we managed what 20, well, so if you did 30, that would put you on what? We're on 57, so that'd put you on 87. So you got 30 points with 10 wins, that puts you on 87. That might get autos. You know what I mean? It might.
I'm not even guaranteed.
Not
even guaranteed. Yeah.
So autos are going to be tough. Autos will be tough.
But let's change it to this one, because this is the kicker for Birmingham fans out there, and we do know a couple of Birmingham fans. This is same type of deal, but we put Birmingham instead, so they're on 49 points at the top, and then on the left hand side they have a lot of yellow and orangey here. So they're mid-season. They took a nice heavy dip actually, but they've come back out of it towards the end, and they're achieving somewhere in around the 2 per match average. And even at that high level here, 2.27, their very best, which was only one week, one set of 11, 74 points. That's barely there. That's barely there without other teams having good results. And there's 5 or 6 ahead of you at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we could, to get 74, what was that for us? 1.5, what was like 1.55 per game?
1.55.
Yeah.
So 74.
So we could go, we could be bad and they'd have to be, 2.27.
And they'd have to be amazing.
Really good.
2.27 is really good. Yeah.
Which to be fair, that's been the run. That's basically been the run we've been on since Boxing Day. We've been on, what did I say it was 2 points.
Just very slightly less than that.
2 point. Yeah, we've been
2.09.
Well, since Boxing Day is 2.23.
Okay.
Because it's 13 games. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're calling it, guys. We're calling it. He's not here. He can't argue about it. They're done. Birmingham is not getting playoffs.
They're out. They're on the beach. Get the Hawaiian shirt out. Get the fruity drink. You're on the beach. He'll be cutting this up here in a couple weeks if we go on a bad run and they get within a couple points of us. Oh shoot.
You know what though? What that does mean though is there's not going to be a massive big Hollywood ending. Where's our Hollywood ending? Where we get to take out Birmingham in the playoffs somewhere. Actually, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Because we haven't beaten Birmingham yet in our rivalry. So
let me ask you this. If we assume we're in the playoffs, assume we're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now I know it's not guaranteed, but assume. Who would you want to play?
Millwall.
You'd want to play Millwall? See, I think that's the one I wouldn't want to play.
No.
I don't want to play them. I think they're really good. And I think they're built for a cup tie.
If you're calling them built for cup tie, it's not my version of a cup tie. Because you're playing defense, keeping it low.
They're gonna keep clean sheets, and
I think we're absolutely built for cup ties, and going all out. That this is it. It's the only match. You got to take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And I think in that scenario, we get through Millwall.
Yeah, I would honestly, I'd rather play Ipswich. If I'd rather play them than Millwall. Now, ideally, I'd rather play probably Hull. but none of the teams are going to be easy. Nobody's going to be easy. I think probably the best case scenario would be Middlesbrough fall out and are just
falling apart.
falling apart, and maybe that's the one you get.
I said that about Coventry.
Yeah,
I
was saying the same thing.
I've been calling for Coventry. I said if they end up in the playoffs, they're the team you want to beat.
Yeah,
because they will fall to pieces. But it looks like that's too late. It looks like they've got it. They're most likely going to take first year, unless they go on a disaster and slip a bit. But yeah, at this stage, it's definitely top two in my mind for Coventry. I don't think they'll slip too far. But yeah, Hull, do you know what? If you put Hull and us into a playoff scenario, you could get a 5-4.
God, you could. It would be nuts.
You could have an absolute banger of a match with some ridiculously high scoring match if the two of us were in there going full steam at it.
Yeah.
And the team that I do not want to play at the moment is Southampton behind us as well.
They're playing.
I agree with you on Ipswich. I would prefer Ipswich to Middlesbrough. If Ipswich steal it on Middlesbrough for some reason, I would prefer Ipswich again. But I don't like the idea of Southampton for some reason.
Yeah, they seem like a scary team right now
because
they're on such good form. Of course, you never know; they could fall off, and who knows? But they've been really tough here recently. So we'll get a look at them. We play them a few weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. We do play them, so we'll get a good look at them. We actually play quite a few of the teams that are in and around it. Let's see. So we play Hull, obviously, next Tuesday. Then Watford, I guess you could count them as a chasing team. We play them at Watford. We play Sheffield United, which I think will be a tough game because they're playing so much better, but I don't think they can catch us. But I think they're capable of taking points off of us, though. So that'll be the issue there. And going to them, that'll be interesting. April 6th, Monday, April 6th, we get Southampton. So that'll be a big one. That could be a really important game in the run-in. And then the game after that is Birmingham. So a couple games in a row there that could be tough. Southampton at home and Birmingham away. And then, of course, we close out the year with Coventry, and then Middlesbrough is the last game. So.
Yeah, the interesting point that some people have been making with our run-in versus others is we have the big matches spread out. Yeah. We don't have a big block of ugly looking games. Now, I've been saying it all season before we even got here to the playoffs. Our final two matches are ridiculously difficult with the way it's kind of playing out. So I never like those two sitting on the very end of it, but we do step up for big matches. And if those matches are important, it will be kind of interesting to see what happens. But otherwise, the run-in from now to then is interspersed with easier matches that we should be able to win, even if we lose some of the more difficult ones. And it can be very important, the order in which you win and lose your matches. Yeah. Because you don't want to be sliding and people to think you're on that bad run. We can take you out here.
It gets in your head and it gets in there.
It gets in everybody's head, and so that can be a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd agree with that. I was looking at it. I think we can, for us. If we get, let's say, so if we go on, I think this is doable. I think we could do 1.72 points per game. That would put us on. That'd give us 19 points from the remaining 11. Okay. And that puts us on 76 points, which I think is pretty safe. I think you get to
Yeah.
76, that should do it. Now, it's possible that if everybody else above us stays on good form and, Southampton are pushing us, then, maybe it doesn't quite, maybe you need a little more than that, but 76 should get you there. And that's a 1.72 points per game run for us. And I think that, honestly, I just think that's with the way we've been playing. I think I'd almost be surprised if we only got to there. You know what I mean? Like, and that
Mhm.
thing about
Yeah.
19 points isn't hard to get. Like, you could get 5 wins and what, 5 and 4 draws, 5-4 draws and a couple losses.
Yeah.
That's 11. So I mean, that's 5 wins, 4 draws. I mean, I think we'd all be screaming, too many draws, too many draws. But
Yeah.
if you got 5 and 4, that puts you on 19. That gets you 76 points.
Mm. Yeah.
And then if you change a couple of those draws to wins, it's not there. It's not bad.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the point that Kelly brings up here about Southampton being a big threat. Well, my point on that is I agree. I think Southampton are going to go on a nice run potentially here in this last chunk. But how we deal with the idea of Southampton achieving better points than us in this final run-in is we just take out Hull. We move up out of 6th position. And with the run-in we've been doing with points, we're aiming there. We're moving slowly. We are creeping up, and in the near future, we should just be moving into 5th, maybe 4th, and then we don't really care about Southampton because ultimately we don't care who ends up in the playoffs as long as we're there.
Yeah, exactly. Just for reference, so if we go, let's say we get to 70, so they're 4 points behind us. So if we go on, like the one I was just saying, to 76 points, that's a 1.9 per game average for us. That would be a 2.09 average for them. They need 23 points there, whereas we only need 19. And then if you bump that up a little bit and say we go on a 1.9, we get 21 points. We end up on 78. For them, that's a 2.27 average, and they need 25 from the 11. So the more this is one of those where the more wins we get, the more that math just works better for us, and it's that much harder and much, they just have to stay on a much better form. So if we can match them, or pull away a little, they may not be able to catch us. But I actually wouldn't be surprised seeing them get in. I could see Hull drop out. The others, I think it's gonna be tough. I can't imagine Millwall going that bad of a run to drop out, and I don't think that Ipswich will go on that poor of a run. I think if anybody drops out, it probably is Hull. So
yeah, I don't think Millwall would probably drop out, but I think potentially we can catch them. It depends. Yeah. We'll see.
How far off are we on? What was it, 4? What, I forget.
Had it there a second ago.
Millwall at 62. 5. So 5 points at the moment.
It's not that terribly far away, but I've been waiting for them to mess up, and they haven't. They've been really, really consistent. So,
well, and that just shows how important that game against them was a few weeks ago
for us. Yeah,
and then they ended up winning it. So, that was disappointing to drop those points. But that was one of our. I think we only lost 2 since Boxing Day, and that was one of them. So, it happens.
Yep, it does.
Okay. Well, what else you want to talk about?
Let's keep kicking Birmingham. There's a couple of comments here. Scum Army is joining us. Davies is gone at the end of the season.
See, that's it. I actually do want to talk to John about that because I know they've said the board's got his back and they're behind him. I can't imagine with the money they've spent that they're going to accept not making the playoffs. And like we said, they've got to go on one spectacular run if they're going to make the playoffs at this point. and I don't see him. Let's say they finish 10th, 9th, 10th. Does he keep his job, or do they say that's not good enough? That will be
Okay.
interesting. I'd be interested in seeing that from hearing that from a Blues fan's perspective.
Okay.
Because,
If they finish 9th or 10th,
mhm.
I think that's putting them on a 1.67 ish finish, somewhere around there. I don't think that'll be good enough
Mhm.
for what they want. Whereas if they were to end up kind of near a 2, a 1.9, a 2 for the end of the season and miss out on playoffs, then you're kind of on a positive run. You couldn't contain it for the entire season and you missed out. That's
Well, I mean,
more logical to let him stay
the
and
interesting thing with that
continue.
is they could go on, right there. You're showing a 2.27 run, and then on
And
74
74
and still
and
not
miss
make
out.
it,
Yeah.
and miss that. So what do you do in that? It's
Then you potentially give him the year, and
yeah,
John might be right that they do have his back. That's certainly good enough if that's true.
mm-hmm.
Now, no, none of it is good enough if it's not true. If they're
Yeah.
willing to dump you because they think they have someone better, then nothing matters. But I think if you can get up to chasing and getting within a few points by the end of it, to show that you kind of did better after January with the new players,
Yeah.
I can see them adding a few more players in the summer and kind of give them another go.
It's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested to see how. Of course, me and John both we made that bet at the beginning of the season. I said their manager will get sacked before ours, and I'm still feeling really good about my pick.
Okay, right. I'm going to make it potentially a crazy comment here, all right? And let's see how crazy you think it is.
All right, I'll tell you how crazy you are.
If we go up this season, if we get into the playoffs, fight our way through the playoffs, and go up to the Prem,
Yep.
I think there's a good chance that we still have Parky longer than Birmingham have Davies if he's down in the Championship.
Yeah, I agree. I'm if he gets us promoted to Premier League, he's getting the whole season. He will. Parky will not. They will not. There's no way they don't give him the whole season, even if we go back down. I don't see. I can't imagine they don't give him. I don't think that's crazy at all. I'm actually. I totally agree.
I can see a world where they have to release Parky in January.
I just don't see.
No, if we absolutely get destroyed the whole first half of the season, I could see it. I think Parky may, bite the bullet and kind of have a joint statement or whatever, decided to move on and for the good of the club, blah, 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 whatever. But other than that, yeah, I think he gets the whole season.
Well, so look at it, but look at it like this, though. Even if we are getting hammered, say just having a really poor run in the Premier League. Say we're in January and we're sitting on 10 points. You know what I mean? Just really tough run.
What's the point in changing?
I mean, here's the thing. He got us up from the Championship once. Now you're going to give him that much more money going down, be able to spend that much more.
Better players.
Get you back up. It's the same thing. Let's think about it. Ipswich has done it with Kieran McKenna. Kieran McKenna took them up from the Championship. He got them from League One to the Championship. Then again, back to back, they went up to the Premier League. Okay, so they got promoted back to back. Then he had the whole season last season the Prem. They weren't terrible, but they were never really threatening to stay up. I think everybody kind of always knew they were going to come back down. But their thought was, you know what, we got the guy we want, and he'll get us back up.
So we're now talking. He's got it. If he gets up to the Prem this season, he's got a year and a half.
I mean, I think so. I think if Parky gets us up, I don't think he's got to worry about his job until the season back in the Championship. If we were to go down, and then if we're struggling, Yeah.
Halfway through, we're struggling with that level of team after coming down from Prem. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see. There's just no. Why change him? I wouldn't. I'd give him the. I mean, because we've had serious conversations. I mean, me and you have, and we've done it on these shows where we've talked about actually, kind of the blueprint is you go up, bank some money, come back down, and then do. You know what I mean? You go up and down, and that's kind of the plan. Some teams do change their manager constantly, but if you know going into it that there's just a really good chance you're getting relegated, then I don't think there's as much pressure on the manager to be
I would worry about us going up and not doing the bounce, in that I think they could push too heavy, too hard to stay up, and then if we don't, it could be a big problem.
Right.
But thinking of Parky in the Prem, I don't know. Well, we're kind of gone off on a tangent now. Might as well stay here. We're positive at the moment. I think there is a shot that Parky is the right manager to pull in a squad of experienced Prem players who are basically being released, the same as he's kind of done in Championship. Players that have been released from the better squads in the Prem because they have too deep a bench, and they're at this level where Parky knows they have massive amounts of experience. They are too good to not be in the Prem. And he pulls together this older team for the Prem, which is not old in the grand scheme of things, but they're it will be maybe their final contract, where they come to us for 3 years, 4 years, but that's the end of their big Premier scenario. And we pull an entire team of experience together with a few younger guys, of course, a few with speed and stuff, and that Parky can make that work again.
Well, if he's done anything, he's proved that he knows how to build it. He's proved he knows how to build a team for the level above. Once he gets there, if he's got to rebuild a team, he can do it. He's also, like you said, he does bring in that mix. He likes to bring in veterans, but he'll get some younger guys that can do it too. Here's the other thing that nobody talks a lot about. I actually mentioned this a few years back on talking to I know I was talking to Josh, and I can't remember who else was on. We were having just a general chat, and I had said I think that Parky is a really good manager. Yeah, I agree with that. Harry Wilson. I would be, if we did make the Premier League
this year,
I would not be surprised at all if Harry Wilson signed for us. Nico, I don't know what Nico. I'd be interested with Nico. I don't know what his contract status is, but I know Harry Wilson will be a free agent in the summer.
This summer, yeah, which means we kind of need to get there this year.
Kind of like the perfect. If you're gonna do it, it's the perfect time. And and still, we may not be able to afford him. You may have one of the big teams really just throw some stupid money at him, and he may take it. But and you can't blame him. But you never know. We may throw some stupid money at him too. But anyway, I had made the comment that Parky actually, he's got a lot of experience in relegation fights, and he's actually really good at it. He's kept Bolton up, in the Championship, in tough circumstances. He's been in those relegation fights, and he knows what it takes to stay up. Now, granted, Premier League's a little different animal, and he's not got that experience, but it's still a relegation fight, and so he's been in that type of situation. It wouldn't be a manager that's always had it his way, and it's not like he's only ever been. They've only ever been good, and he's never had to struggle. He's been through struggles. He knows what that is, what that's like. He knows what it's like to be a small fish in a big pond. So I think he might be well suited for it for the Prem for us.
Yeah, I just wonder, is our backroom staff ready for such a massive turnover of players that you would need in the Prem? Have we got the reach to the European teams to get the younger guys at a cheaper price that we can afford? Because the idea I mentioned of having the older, more experienced guys is their wages are crazy high. So what sort of level are they willing to back down to? What sort of bonuses for keeping us up and blah, 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 whatever. Could we put it together? Can we get a mix of some Europeans and some older experienced guys and do it fast enough? Because we've had a couple of issues getting in the players we've wanted. And this week, I didn't see the article, but a couple of people were saying that Parky has finally hinted at that we potentially missed some of our number one choices, because in part for the training facilities and that side of it. So it's an interesting one there. We do have a couple of negatives here and there.
Yeah. I haven't seen the article either. I have to look that up, see what's out there. Did they mention where it was at? Was it in the leader?
No, and I happened to be really busy at the time when I saw them. But yeah, it was. I'm not going to guess. I can probably look back and find it if I try, but I haven't got it at the moment.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Habs, yeah, we would need scouting network to deal with it. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure. Here's the thing: they'll be looking at that type of stuff already. You know what I mean? There'll be, because they're going to be if we don't go up this year, they're going to want to go up next year or the year after. Like, they know what they want to do. It's not our ownership isn't planning on settling here. They don't want to settle in the championship. They want to go up. So they'll be looking, they'll know, we are going to have to improve this and we are going to have to improve that. And, these things are, that stuff's got to be taken care of. But I think it was interesting, in the interview that Sean Harvey did with FID, he said, there's never a bad time to get promoted. You know what I mean? Just get promoted. You know what I mean? If you can get promoted, and then figure out the rest.
Yeah.
I
do think one of the problems this season was first season in the championship, no record of being able to compete at this level for some players, and then the extras like the training facilities and stuff. And I would hope that as much as we have issues with some of those things, if you're in the Prem, you're in the Prem. And I think the draw of being at the top level, even if it's in theory the worst team in the league, we can still back ourselves with the money and the revenue generation and the story. We've done it again and again and again, stuff like that. And it was just mentioned in the comment here from Tom, we would be able to outspend Brentford, Bournemouth, etc. on FFP with our income. Now they have changed the rules on that.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's changed a little, so that'll be interesting.
We will know soon, because the couple of accounts that have come out at the moment, they were leaked apparently through the UEFA side because they were European teams or something. So actually, it might be the end of this month is when all the rest have to be in officially.
We should be in ours anytime, I'd say.
I'm not sure exactly when they're due, but
I think ours came. If I remember right, ours came out in March, right around this time. Maybe April, but should be getting close. We should be getting which would be our League One.
Yes, and Coventry's came out. We're going to be bigger than Coventry's with League One figures.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we stack up. I'm curious to see where we stack up to Birmingham in League One.
Yes,
how close were we, and how we're
they came down from Championship. We were coming up, but now we're so we'll be comparing our League One numbers with their Championship numbers.
Right.
So that will be an interesting one to compare the two.
That's gonna be. I don't know. I'm trying not to get too excited about the Premier League, but I'm having trouble.
I know we can tell tonight, isn't it? It's like, ooh, this is interesting chat.
Well, I mean, we've been in such a good run. It's hard not to get excited when you're. I mean, fucking hell, we've been on an unreal run here. Like I was telling, it's funny because Josh, can't remember the exact question he asked me, but basically, what were my thoughts about the run in and where we're gonna finish and something along those lines. And I was like, I'll be honest with you, I'm just happy to be here.
Mm.
It's just I'm happy that we're in that conversation.
In the conversation.
Because that was kind of my that was what and you'll remember this. I said my goals, what I wanted for us this season was to beat our best ever finish, in club history, which it looks like we're going to do that on a breeze. We're going to breeze past that. And the other one was just to finish ahead of Swansea. And then I was hoping that at the end of the season that we would be in a fight for the play. That we'd be close.
A fight at some point, yeah. Somewhere.
Yeah, it'd be in and around. I didn't want to have the last 6 games be worth for nothing. You know what I mean? I wanted to have it all means something. Be in that fight, and now it looks like we're going to be right in it. So
now we're going to be ahead of Swansea by the end of the season, which is a big one. That's what a lot of the Welsh guys wanted. They wanted to be.
Well, that puts us as the highest finishing Welsh team in the league or
system.
Whatever the system.
But we can now add to that, seeing as we're digging into Birmingham. Very likely that we're going to finish ahead of Birmingham as well. Which
honestly, that surprises me. I kind of did figure they would be easily a playoff team. And I think most of us did. I think most of us kind of felt like they were because it felt like they had a head start. Yeah. It felt like they were building a championship team last season. Yeah. Whereas we had a team that was built for League One, and so you felt like they had that head start on us. So I'm a little surprised that they've not done as well. I'll be honest. I think as excited as they were about their summer signings, I think their summer was not a good summer. I think a lot of those signings fell flat. So, which is surprising. So I thought they were good. I thought they'd done a really good job of identifying talent for League One. So I'm surprised that they struggled. But and we'll see what the guys they got in January did. End up being. But they bought a lot more in January than I thought they were going to.
So that's another tick then, if we take out Birmingham. And in fairness, most people were not putting that on their list. No. People were putting on the list getting into the playoffs before beating Birmingham. Right. One, because it's just another club and it doesn't really mean anything ultimately. But I like this little friendly rivalry with different teams as we've been progressing up. So that's another potential tick there, Birmingham. Then next one is going to be getting into the playoffs and actually achieving it. And then one thing we haven't said, just to be fair to everything, is getting into the playoffs is just one step. We've jumped to playing in the Premier League, but we still have to actually get through the playoffs, which is bloody difficult. I mean, we're talking about the teams we don't want to play, and it's pretty much all of them. There's none of them we want to play. And we've got to do 2 of them. So then another tick will be getting through the first round of the playoffs. And then the other one will be in the final. Now, just getting to the final, I suppose, the same thing as getting through the first round. But that's a big achievement as well, even if we get to the final, go to Wembley and miss out. Yeah. And as much as people hate it, we were at the final and it was horrendous, we got knocked out. We haven't done it. Yeah. We haven't done it in the Robin Ryan era. You know what I mean? This is the first time so many people, and even if you have experienced it in the past, going to finals and getting knocked out and stuff, like this is a whole new ball game, guys. This is for the Prem.
Yeah, this is a big one. It's a big one. It's gonna be fun. I'm pretty excited. See, Donna says Millwall's the team she doesn't want. I agree, Donna. I don't want to play Millwall either. They're just.
I think we could smash. I think we could smash them 4-1 in a playoff.
We could, but they could also beat us 1-0 twice. It wouldn't surprise me to see them beat us 1-0 twice. So. Yeah. Oh. All right. Well, what else we got? What else do you want to touch
on? Let's have a look then. Okay. 2 seconds here. I'll organize this. Right. Now, where are we? Okay, remove this. Show to the screen. Stop screen. Start screen.
So
There we
yes, Donna, you get in the playoffs. If each team wins, it goes to you get an extra 30 minutes, extra time added on to the second leg. It's the second game, and then if that ends in still, you're still tied, you still had a draw. You go to, then you go to PKs. So yeah, you go to PKs.
Yeah, so this is partly where where you finish is important. So position 3 will play 6, and then
Yes.
4 will play 5.
5.
But the difference is that position 3 and 4 will play away first in the first leg, and then they will play at home in the second leg. So when you're at home, you will know exactly what you need to do in order to win or equal the points, the goals scored in the previous match. And then you have the extra time potential, and then you have the penalty kicks potential at your home ground, which is generally of benefit for the most part. Because what often happens is in the first match, teams tend to play just to keep the scores as low as possible, because you can't win it in the first round, essentially, and then keep it low in the first one, then take it to your home ground, and then have the better match and then win it at home, is what people try to do generally with that. Yeah. So yeah, 4th place would be nice for that reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so different things I have bookmarked while I was messing around. Apparently, the English FA wants to trial a new coaches challenge. Now, I think this might be a lot of bullshit. I have not fact checked this in the slightest. I just grabbed it because it was the first one I had. But what do you think of the idea of the coaches being able to call for a VAR decision?
See, this is very normal for an American, because this is how the NFL does it.
I know, yeah.
You get your, I think the way it is now, it's changed a few times, but I think you get one challenge in the first half and one challenge in the second half. And if you win your challenge, you get to keep it. So let's say they got a decision wrong and you won your challenge, you get to keep your challenge. So you could get more than one if you're right. If you're wrong, it's done. That was your one chance. I'm okay with that. I think I would be okay with that as long as you went to like an automated offsides of some sort. Because I think the offside that you would be
constantly trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one. You know what I don't understand, and why don't they just put a damn we literally have things on the player's chest that is like tracking them. Okay, we know how much they've run. Just put something in there that just shows where they're at on the pitch, and if your little beeper's ahead of his little beeper, or you know what I mean, you're offsides. To me, that just makes way more sense than doing it the way they do it now, because it's not consistent. There's no, you know what I mean? Just do it, put trackers on the players and know where they're at on the pitch. And if he's offside, he's offside. Doesn't matter if his arm's sticking out or, you know what I mean? Because you could be behind a player, but your arm's sticking forward, and half the time that's offside and half the time it's not. It's dumb.
It's interesting you bring that one up, because that's a different story.
Okay, cool. Okay. It's funny. Yeah. But I could see, but that would be, how many times would a manager be wanting to challenge the offside? And I think for me, I think that should be an auto. That should be automatically done. And if it's not automatically, if we don't do a electronic system of some sort, then it should just be automatic. That should be checked by VAR without having the manager shouldn't have to challenge that, because it happens so often in a game. You know what I mean? Yeah, but
okay. Next one.
Well, we lost Patty. He cut himself out. He definitely hit the wrong button. So I don't know what he was going to go to. But I will say we can talk a little bit about Sheffield Wednesday until Patty gets back in here. So apparently, Sheffield Wednesday's takeover bid fell through. James Board was the preferred bidder. His group that he was leading up was the preferred bidder, and he that has fallen through. They dropped out, and basically, there's a couple different lines of thought from what I've seen, and it's all kind of hearsay. But it sounds like, for one, they way overbid compared to some of the other bidders. I think the rumor is most of the bidders were in the 20 million, between 20 and 25 million range. And it sounds like James Board's group came in over 40. And so that's why they got that, preferred bidder status. They were just so much more than everybody else. And so I think there's rumors that some of the investors had got a little bit of cold feet once they realized they're way overpaying, and that maybe there's just so much that needs, once they really got under the hood and we're looking at the club, realized, okay, we're paying almost 20 million more than everybody else, and what everybody else was gonna bid. And now we've got all these other issues that we need to take care of with the club, and and that potentially it was just going to be too much money that they're going to have to put in. The other thing that was being talked about is, now that it's getting to the nitty gritty and the EFL is looking into some things, they may have decided, you know what, maybe we don't want them looking into that, and decided to back out. So I've heard a few different things. I think it's all hearsay, nothing for sure. But what we do know is the preferred bidder's bid has fallen through. And so now I think they're looking at a couple of the other bidders, going back to them and seeing if they're still interested. But yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting there. Do you have anything on that there, Patty?
Yeah, it's just it's an almost certain now that they're not going to make the percentage for the creditors that's required, and they'll be getting a 15-point deduction at the start of next season, which again is another one of these automated things.
Yeah.
Interestingly, something that occurred to me during the week, but probably won't come up because it's likely they'll figure something out in the summer, is I was wondering what happens if they're still in administration with no owner coming into the new season. I assume it's just an automatic, well, you have no new owner, creditors have not yet been paid. You get your 15 points.
Another point. Oh, another deduction if they're not. I got you. Yeah.
No, so I'm just wondering how exactly that would work. Because what happened if you went into administration at the end of the year in the summer? Then the administrators wouldn't have time to find owners and to pay off the debts in time. So now that they've dropped their potential owner, how fast can they get it sorted for the start of the season? So that's something I was unaware of, kind of. Well, how would that work?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
But almost certainly 15 points next season for them, basically.
Yeah, sounds like
that's something maybe you didn't mention. I didn't hear you mention it anyway, was apparently one of the other bidders is saying that their bid is kind of contingent on discussing with the EFL and having them remove the 15 points that they're going to get.
No, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. So, which is just a nonsense situation.
Yeah,
I don't think they have any ability. I think it's one of these automated systems that they've put in place. So the reason you have that is to kind of stop them not paying off the creditors and dealing with this. So why would you let them away with it the first time you have someone go into administration? No, that's the whole point of why they did it. So I think that's nonsense. But the question is, how serious are they about it? Are they completely naive and think, oh, we'll just discuss it with the EFL, and of course it wasn't our problem, they'll let us away with it? But if that's what they think, I doubt it's going to happen, and it may fall through again.
Yeah. I can't remember. I can't remember the family's name that was one of the ones that were linked with maybe possibly taking it over now. I know Mike Ashley's name's been floated, but I don't think the Wednesday fans were super thrilled with that one. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see who they end up with. Habs through John Texter's name out there. I wonder. I don't know if he would do it or if he'd be interested or not. Has he been linked? I can't remember.
John Texter? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, Texter, was he linked with him? I couldn't remember. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I know Simon Jordan was interesting. Simon Jordan was talking on TalkSport the other day. Basically, since that bid had fallen through, I guess whoever he was trying to put a group together originally to maybe make a bid before they backed out. I guess they had been talking about it, maybe going back in now that it's available again. And I think I think he's kind of got it. He's past it. But yeah, I think he said basically something along the lines of he just didn't want to put in the 5 to 6 years that it's going to take to get it to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And make it worth the, worth doing. He just didn't want to do the work. So I thought that was interesting that they were still having conversations, because that would have been really interesting. I just because of who he is, it would have been funny to see him back in, because if he fails, my God, the shit he'd take. But it'd be an interesting guy. He's an interesting guy to listen to. I know a lot of people don't like him. I appreciate his takes, because he's often got a take that it doesn't come to mind at first. You know what I mean? He's got a definitely, obviously pro owner, but sometimes they look at things differently, and then you kind of understand. At least gives you a look at the other side, whether you agree with it or not. I think he's got interesting views. So I enjoy listening to him. But anywho. So what were you after before you disappeared on me? So you go, and here's this, and gone.
I did the local pundit touching buttons. I did.
I thought
what I did was, because I was screen sharing, I thought the easiest way to do it was to copy paste and just update my screen.
Yeah.
And I pasted it into the wrong one on top of my StreamYard. and dumped me out of StreamYard. Okay, so here we go. And this is offsides. And let's go back up here so I can read it. There was discussion quite a while back, and it was Arsene Wenger was suggesting to go to the offside rule where you had to be completely past the player. So the idea here is literally your entire body, feet, the whole lot have to be further past the other defender, which means you're going to get a nice, comfy head start. And defenders are not, in theory, going to be able to push as high. You're not going to be able to hold that line and press as easily in these scenarios. So that will has the potential to completely change how we play things. For good or for bad, who knows at the moment. It depends how teams adjust. It could end up that everybody plays extremely defensive and nobody enjoys it.
That's what I would. Yeah, that would be my thought is, does it turn into a more of a problem because everybody just sits so low? So they can't get beaten behind. But
okay. So the reason this has come back up is because it's saying here Arsene Wenger's new offside rule has been approved and will be used in the Canadian Premier League. So they're trying it. And they're using the more extreme rule. I think Arsene Wenger was saying about it was the daylight rule that you had to be able to see between the two. But apparently they're going full hog and saying that you have to be completely past.
So completely past, not just daylight. They're going to be
toes versus hand potentially, and all this carry on. So yeah, the Habs, the idea, Habs just said it there kind of. it just turns everything into low block FC potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially
that or we get a lot of goals. a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know. To me, the most, I know not all leagues can do it, but to me, the most the thing that may, especially for like the Premier League, I mean, it can't be that hard to put a tracker and a device, and if you put it in the same spot on every player, you know what I mean, and just that's it. You know what I mean. You have a tracker on. They wear those chest things that have. They were already getting readings from players anyway. If you had something like that, and you were able to get and track, and so if me and you are running against next to each other, and I'm a millimeter ahead of you, it says I'm offsides. I'm offsides. You know what I mean? And you just it's purely electronic, and that's it.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. What I might potentially say is, as a half measure here, is something like the daylight rule. What you could do is you could use the trackers from the players, but give the attacker a very small margin for being past.
Right. Yeah. So
the defender. So it's not perfect, because obviously when you hit the button to say a shot has gone from the foot or whatever, things kind of move a little bit. So you could give a little bit of flexibility there, that the attacker could be slightly forward, and that might make a difference for leaning or angles and stuff like this. I would kind of agree with that. But yeah, an automated system for something like that could be, could work. Yeah, I kind of agree with that one. All right, so this week, have you been watching X a lot?
A little bit.
Or not
here
at all?
and there.
A little bit. Okay. So then you have probably seen this one. And quite a few others, because they have been all over the place. So all the talk has been about cheating and diving and falling over, pushing each other and all this sort of carry on. So I have a couple of these bookmarked. Have you seen this one?
No, I didn't see this one.
Ref, he kicked me in the head.
Oh, jeez. Unbelievable. Good Lord.
And you know what? If we end up going up to the Prem, this is something I absolutely detest. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And for me, the stupid simulation like this, right, is really easy to get rid of. And if you don't want to do it immediately, having different bar checks and stuff like this, what you do is you do retroactive penalties for simulation, for trying to fake a situation. And there's quite a few situations at the moment, including goalies going down so that the players can run over and get some advice from the coaches, get a quick water break or whatever. So all of these potential simulation scenarios, I think, should be retroactive. You should be able to look at them after the match. And imagine you turn around after a match and start saying, okay, 4 players, here you go, yellow cards.
So, okay, but here's the problem, though. So I get that. How do you see, like, especially with a goalkeeper, okay? Because most of the time it's like you have your goalkeeper go down so you can bring your players over.
Yeah, because they get up smiling.
Okay, here's
they get up smiling and waving.
Sure, but you know what? But if you feel something in your ankle or something, and it's like, oh, I need to go down, I should go down, and then it stops. Here, I think there's an easier way to stop it. Don't allow the players to come to the sideline.
Well, yeah, that's one thing as well.
I think that's the fix. Or, you know what I mean? I think you just don't allow it. If you want to stop that, you just say, okay, we can stop it, but when we do, you can have a trainer bring water out. You can bring water to them, but that's it.
Yeah.
No pieces of paper, and the coach can't be out there, showing him what he wants, because that's one of the things that's hilarious. It's funny to watch. I watched that Dorking Wonders thing they do on YouTube, and that's one of his big things. Mark the manager at Dorking, he's always constantly go down, yelling at his keeper to go down so he can do some tactical changes. Like it's one of his biggest things. He's always, he get about 20 minutes in, he's like, he's pointing at him, go down, so he can get a change in, and he can change up what they're doing. It's really funny. But I think, why not, what do you think of this? What if you give a manager a timeout? Give him a timeout. Give a manager a timeout. Not like as in he can call timeout.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Give him one. Give him one in a game.
Yeah, they hate the idea of slowing things down though. That's what really annoys fans.
Well, but you
slowing it down for no reason.
But what's the difference? It's the same thing. You know what I mean? If you're gonna let him do it anyway, I mean that's all it is. He's getting a timeout.
Yeah, I just like the idea of saying no, you're not allowed to come over to the line.
Which is that and that's fine with me too. I agree.
But how many people get yellow cards then? Who was close enough to decide that they're allowed to talk to the manager?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how close can you get? Yeah, I don't know. Be interesting.
Okay, so we got another one. Yeah, ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, I better make this bigger. Is it working? Or is it not working?
Pressing buttons again.
Yeah.
It's all going to go wrong.
Piscinazo. Lo toma fuera.
Yeah.
Piscinazo.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's one of those like.
Piscinazo.
What I don't know what you can do about it. I mean, they're already yellow carding guys if you catch it. You know what I mean? And maybe a retroactive is something you should look at. And so maybe if the manager or the official doesn't catch it in the game, you go back and do it. But it's still like it's still never going to be pretty. You're not going to stop it completely. Like,
yeah. Well, okay. So the problem here is looking at this, right? I think officially by the rule book, that's a penalty. He has his hand on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He is putting pressure on his shoulder. Now, it is the lightest of lightest penalties for me, right? But he is doing simulation on top of it. So he does go down with the pressure, and lots of players fall over when they get the contact. So in a way, if you're going to be that strict, I don't mind it. But then you give a penalty for that because it's a bit more an open play. But you don't give a penalty when defenders have their hands wrapped around people on corners in the box with a ball coming in. I know. And the same thing as well about giving free yellow cards and stuff. Oh, it's a yellow card if it's 1 foot outside the box, because then I don't have to give a penalty. But let it go 1 more foot. Nah, that's okay. I'll let it go because I don't want to make a big decision of a penalty. Yes, that's the sort of craziness for me.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know how you fix it. I that's the thing. Like, I don't have any good. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, what's your, or you just say, screw it. You're allowed to do it now. There's no such thing as penalties, and have at each other. Doesn't matter. It's still a free kick, but you don't get, no penalties.
Well, see, here's the thing for me, right? I would like to go back to the days where you could maybe throw a leg in, slide through a player, stuff like that. Yeah, stop being such a baby, get up. But they're never going to go back to those days anyway. So if they're going to go down this road of you're not allowed to jump on people and push over them and pull them down by their shoulder with a pressure on your hand, then take them all out and get serious with it and give people cards and make them take penalties in situations like this, and they'll stop doing it because it will not be worth doing simulation and doing these other stuff and grabbing jerseys. It's one thing that drives me mad. It's just taking a handful of someone's jersey to stop them running. I'm like, that's a joke.
Which, usually, guys do that and they're doing it knowing they're getting yellow carded, but they're taking it.
But they don't most of the time.
Yeah.
They don't most of the time. And another suggestion that came up this week, because it's been all over the place about these issues, was if you take a professional foul, like coming up to the halfway line,
You're right. Yeah.
when you're on the counter, that it should be a free kick, but it should be from like only a couple of feet outside the box. So you move it forward. If you know it's a last man situation and they're doing it on purpose, taking that professional foul and taking the yellow card to stop the play, is you don't take it from where they did the attack. You move it forward for those scenarios. And I don't mind that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
To take that away. Other things that came up this week was they're looking at the new 8-second rule again. And if the keeper takes too long in kicking the ball out, it will go from a ball out to being a corner. And if you take too long in throwing in from the touchline, it swaps to the other team, and they get it. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a funny one. What was it? I think it was Saturday. It was the Coventry Stoke game. The Stoke keeper. The Coventry had kicked the ball. It was right before Coventry scored the winner. The ball had gone out of, or was it? Yeah, I think it had gone out of play, and one of their players ran out and grabbed the ball real quick and come running in and put it, because it was a goal kick, and he, Coventry player put it down in front of the Stoke goalkeeper, like real quick, trying to hurry, and no, he turned to go get a different ball. So I died laughing. I thought it was hilarious. He got yellow carded for it, but it was really funny because the guy put the ball down. He just turns around, walks off to go get a different ball. He didn't want that one. Which, of course, it was right towards the end of the game, like 90th minute or something. It was right before Coventry took the lead. And it was really funny though. But yeah, it's shit like that though. I see what you're saying. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't mind that if a keeper fucks around and he's just all right, corner. that would probably speed things up for sure.
Yeah.
It is interesting. You ever look at some of the stats for like how much actual game time there is, like actually playing as opposed to being, where it's just stopped? It's incredible how much stoppage there is when there's even, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's way more than you'd think, actually. And so, yeah, they need to do something. I get it.
Well, people are not a fan of swapping the clock the other way and doing a countdown instead of a count up, and just every time the ball goes out of play, stop the clock. And then you know exactly where you are. Now, it's done like that in rugby. And I know it's a little bit different, obviously, because the ball stays in play longer with phases of rugby. But I love the end of the match where you're close enough that if you make a score, you can win. And the time is up. But the whistle isn't blown until that ball goes out over the line at somewhere. So you could do that in football. What I would do is I would reverse the clock. I would stop it for the majority of issues like injuries and some other things while you reset and restart the match, and then you know where you are. But when it hits 90 minutes, what you do is you continue to play. And it doesn't matter if you can keep the ball in play for 2 minutes, then it stays live until the other team get it, in which case, as soon as they get it, they're going to kick it out over the line and finish the game. That would be the end of the match. Basically, that's how you do it. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you would potentially have to add an extra couple of minutes because we all know there's missing minutes from slow play that would be caught with this. And I would personally like that because I would like to see a 90 minutes. But it's a major change to change the clock that way because they've done it that way for so long.
Yeah. It's interesting. I know it was funny a couple of years ago when they made that big change where they're like, all right, we're adding more time on. We're not adding enough time. And so they decided. So remember, we were getting like 10 and 15 minutes added time. You know what I mean? Remember that? What was that? The League Two season, maybe? Can't remember. It was a big thing, the EFL, especially the EFL. I don't know if everybody was doing it, but I know the EFL did it. And it was like the first half of the season, we were getting games and we'd get to the end of the 90 and they were adding on 12 and 15 minutes. And it was like, geez, oh Pete. It's just unbelievable amounts of time getting added on. And then I think they finally realized, okay, this isn't helping. So
Okay, got one more here, a bit different.
All right.
Talking about cheating and talking about all these sort of fouls and stuff. This is one that I thought was really cool. It popped up. Fun fact from Craig Jones: the team that has made the least fouls in the whole EFL so far this season is Wrexham.
Yep.
324 according to Opta. Some may say it's referees turning a blind eye to Wrexham, but maybe we just play the game fairly. Millwall have committed by far the most fouls.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that one's do you know what's I don't know. Have we what we had? We've only had one player sent off this season, right?
Mhm.
Just Doyle was the only one so far.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't seem like I don't think anybody's been in hard trouble, have they, that I remember? As
No,
far as
not
being
really.
close on numbers.
Not terribly close, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, whereas in the last couple seasons, Mac is always, it seems like he's always right on the line.
I think Birmingham have a player on that line now after getting a yellow tonight, if I heard that correctly during a match.
I don't know.
So yeah, there's a couple of teams have players right on the line, I think.
Mhm.
And the cutoff should be fairly soon as well for that next level where people will be safe again.
Yeah, I always forget when the cutoffs are, but oh shoot, yeah, it'll be. Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think we've got anybody that's close. Yeah, that's right. I remember that LOB should have been sent off. Yeah, there was one challenge he did that was pretty bad. Who was that again? Was that Coventry? Was that the Coventry game? I can't remember who it was, but he come in. He was real. He had one tackle really, really poor. It was he's about to took a guy's knee out and somehow got away with it. But yeah. Oh shoot. Oh man. Okay, what else we got?
Right, we got another one, but this time it's in Championship, so we'll jump back to
Okay,
actually
cool.
something in our own league.
Let's do it.
I nearly did it. I'm in the wrong tab again.
Oh, you about screwed up.
I almost did
Push your
it.
buttons.
Okay, here we go.
I saw that. Touch of death. The touch of death.
The touch of death.
Oh shoot! Down he goes.
Okay, but
potatoes.
see now here's me, right? In these scenarios, and after the fact, retroactive, all this sort of carry on, I would give them both yellow cards for this.
Yeah.
After the fact, I would give Schmadix one because you don't touch another player.
Yeah.
And then I would give the guy a yellow for diving and being such a bitch and simulating that because that's bullshit.
Here's the yellow card. Why? Because you're a bitch. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh, gosh dang. Yeah, I saw that one the other day. That was a dandy for sure. Hab says he's give them red cards. Send them. Oh. Well, what else? Anything else? Anything else?
No, do you know what? I think that's good enough for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have a
On
ton.
that bombshell, you're a bitch.
And on that bombshell.
Okay, so I'm going to try something new here, and I'm going to try and institute a new system. Let's see if people like it. So good, you got to play it twice.
Jump shot. Jump shot. It's Monday night, the show is here. We'll make opinions crystal clear. Jump shot. Jump shot. Let's see who makes that watch this week. Another transfer rumor storm a week. Whoa. Jump shot. Jump chat, we like to talk the Reds and the Blues while we bring you all of the biggest news. Jump chat, oh, jump chat, jump chat.
Okay, guys, that is us with Champ Chat for this week. Thank you very much for coming in. Great to see you here, everybody. And what have we got coming up? We have got the FA Cup versus Chelsea. And we're going to knock out the World Cup of Football champions from the FA Cup.
That's right.
On that bombshell. We'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.